Welcome to Stars Launch Pod, where we chat with innovators who are overcoming challenges, pushing boundaries, and collaborating to make space more accessible and sustainable for humanity, one launch at a time.
It's one small step for man.
Here's your host, Susan Wise.
Hi, and welcome to STARS LaunchPod, Space Technology and Research Sciences, brought to you by starsciences.org, where we connect, collaborate, and accelerate. I'm your host, Susan Wise, and with us is Jen Carter, Director of the Center for STEM Excellence and the Space Trek Program, and Chloe Hart, Ground Station Engineer and Operations Manager at Morehead State University and Telecommunications Instructor with Space Trek. Welcome. So glad to have you guys here.
Hi, Susan. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having us.
I'm really excited to hear a little bit more about both of you and what's going on with you, and also what you're working on to further the space industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have created a program called Space Trek. It's a 2-week residential program for high school aged girls located here at Morehead State University that gets them hands-on college and career connected experiences in space systems engineering. And so through that program, girls are given a mission, and that is to measure the temperature of the atmosphere up to 5 kilometers. And to do that, they have to build, a satellite-like device called a CricketSat that's going to measure that temperature.
That's a satellite? Satellite like, kind of. I've never seen, and I didn't realize they were so small. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the capability of our CricketSat is very analogous to the function of a satellite, and that is it has a sensor on board, it's collecting data, and then it has to wirelessly transmit that data to a user. And so that's what the CricketSat does. It measures temperature in the atmosphere, and it has a radio and antennas, and it wirelessly transmits that information down to the ground, where the girls in the program, working in teams of 3, assemble and operate a portable satellite tracking station where in real time, they're collecting this temperature information, and they then go on to use Microsoft Excel to create graphs of that data, making it meaningful and accessible to others. And then they produce a technical mission presentation, where they present their satellite design, their concept of operations, and their research.
And you said these are high schoolers?
Yeah, some of them have just completed 8th grade and are rising into their 9th grade year. Some of them have just completed their senior year of high school and rising into their freshman year of college. So really, when I say this program is for high school girls, it's for girls rising into their 9th grade year of high school and those who are coming in as freshmen in college. The only requirement is Algebra 1. And that's because we really build upon Algebra 1 content. And it's a direct application of Algebra 1 in the real world.
And I know you know a lot about math, Jen, and just the mention of algebra gets me right here. But I got to tell you what you're doing just to ignite that spark in young ladies and young girls to get into science and space and what we're doing. I mean, that's so exciting. I wish we had that when I was that age, you know?
And I think that reaction that you had to Algebra 1, a lot of our girls are feeling when they first come into our program, but to actually, see it in a real world instance and understand why we are applying these concepts as we are, it just gets them excited for different math concepts in the future.
You know
what?
It
does, and it validates their learning.
It does. You're both right, because when I was in school, I'm like, when am I ever going to use that? Well, here we are. I love that.
Here's one way you can. Yep.
That's so exciting. I love what you're doing. What about a big aha moment? Either one of you want to take this?
Well, I really have had 2. Okay. The first one happened during the graduation of the very first Space Trek program back in 2012. And that aha moment was, this program has meaningfully impacted teenage girls. And by that, what I mean is I heard messages from girls. I heard girls say things to their parents. I heard parents say things to their daughters and to me about how much the program had truly impacted them. See, the thing is, it's really great that we are exposing these young women to space systems engineering and therefore the aerospace industry and careers. But we wrap an empowerment program around the space systems curriculum that really serves to address the girl as a learner holistically. So mind, body, spirit, we do things in addition to the curriculum like yoga, mindfulness, developing friendships, and learning to live on a college campus. So like Laundry 101. So the empowerment, yes, I mean, every girl has this great brain that needs to be challenged through a mission like this, but also addressing that learning strategy from a holistic perspective is really the key to success. And that's what we heard students say and we heard parents say is, you know, she never thought that space systems was something she would be interested in. She just liked math or she was good at science. And so we tried this out. And now she feels like she wants to pursue space systems engineering.
Yeah. I love that concept because a lot of times you might, maybe you're into math, but the science part might seem a little overwhelming and like, I don't think I can do that. But this really, I love how it lifts them up on all different levels and supports all of it.
Absolutely. And that really leads me to my second aha moment back in 2015, when we first started looking at the data that was the number of females entering the undergraduate degree program in space systems engineering here at Morehead State University. And that fall, 40% of the incoming freshmen were girls. So 40% female enrollment in space systems engineering. And of those girls, 100% of them that year were from Space Trek.
Oh, I love that.
That happened to be the summer Chloe.
So that leads into my aha moment. So my moment was actually before I started working with Space Trek in an instructional role. I was actually an alumni from that exact same year. And, you know, I'd always been book smart, but I didn't know I could do that hands-on practical thing. So I remember when I first went to Space Trek, I was terrified and I actually cried in the car on the way, just, you know, sure that I was going to fail. And this empowerment program and this hands-on learning had encouraged and empowered me so much that I actually continued on to get my degree here at Morehead. And I actually got to be the role of the antenna operator when I was in Space Trek. And now I am the operation manager for our 21-meter ground station on the hill that works with NASA's Deep Space Network. And so just having that full circle moment and being able to come back and instruct those telecommunications sections, I think has been a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I think the aha for many people is Space Trek changes a young person's trajectory. And in many cases, it, encourages them and inspires them to pursue aerospace as a degree and therefore a career. But for others, it just inspires them and empowers them to say, I can do whatever. And, you know, today we have alums who are OBGYNs, who are lawyers, who do a variety of great, great work. And so it's a real program that really empowers young women.
It says a lot about Chloe that you were part of the Space Trek, part of the program, and then so inspired to turn around and become an instructor. And I mean, you could have gone in a lot of different directions and done a lot, and you still may, but I think that says a lot about the program. I love what you ladies are doing. This is so exciting. If I was a parent of a young girl of that age, how would you get involved with this? I mean, what steps would they need to take?
Yeah, so every year we accept 24 girls to Space Trek, and it's an application process. So we have applicants from all over Kentucky, but also all over the world. We have some applicants that come from California and Michigan and Florida and West Virginia. And we actually ran the program once in South Africa. But it is the application and it's awareness of the program. So as a parent, I would say, tell your daughter about Space Trek. Show her the application, show her the website, show her the social media that we have that kind of highlight what we're doing here, and have her apply.
Yeah. Love that. On this journey, I'm sure there's ups and downs for everybody, because I always say that's how we learn, having a challenge. What has been one of your biggest challenges, and how did you overcome it?
You want to go first on that one?
I'll let you go first. I gotta think about that.
So I would say the biggest challenge that I'm still working to overcome is always funding. You know, we offer this program at a registration fee that is very minimal. And it doesn't cover program costs. It just covers, honestly, the cost of the food for the participant. But I would say that finding solid funding is always the challenge. So when Space Trek first began, we just kind of piecemealed some donations here, some donations there, small grants here, small grants there. And we were able to operate like that for a couple of years. And then I became part of an on-campus organization that was a residential high school for like exceptionally academically talented students in Kentucky. And they funded Space Trek for a number of years. And then after the pandemic, I applied for a grant as part of the American Rescue Plan. And that allowed me to build the Center for STEM Plus Excellence and fund its programs for 3 years. When that ended in 2024, I had applied for yet another grant through the Appalachian Regional Commission, the ARC, one of their ARISE grants. That stands for Appalachian Regional Initiative for Stronger Economies. And we were really focused on workforce development in Kentucky's very robust aerospace economy. And then to expand that, and we chose West Virginia because they have an emerging aerospace economy. And so, you know, just like any other grant, it has a term, and our current funding ends in 2027, and then we'll have to find some other solution. So being a grant-funded or donation-based organization, it is how can we always secure the financial resources to deliver this program to young girls at a price that is affordable. And so that's the continued challenge. We've always found a way, and we're still always looking. So
I feel like you have the foundation and the results to show that you're worthy of these donations and worthy of the funding and continued funding. So I surely hope that people are aware, and hopefully this helps make people aware that you're worthy of further funding. And I hope that it comes to you.
absolutely.
It is a big challenge, and it's probably, I hate to say it, but it's probably always going to be a challenge. It seems to be for a lot of people in this industry. What about you, Chloe? Have you had a challenge that you'd like to talk about?
Well, in regards to Space Trek, I think one of the biggest challenges, at least to me in an instructor role, is there always comes a time during this mission where the girls are frustrated, and the girls, they're learning all these new concepts. And really, we say it's a 2-week residential program, but all of this learning and learning about the backgrounds and the payloads and what each individual component does, that all happens within 1 week before launch.
Wow.
Everything else is data collection and actually curating their presentation. So all of this is very fast moving, and you want to just reach out and help that girl, you know, with that struggle, and you want to just like extend your hand. But when those girls actually do it themselves and realize that they can overcome this challenge that they've had, it is just a beautiful moment. And so I always have to hold myself back, because every single girl that we've had has just been amazing and truly inspiring.
I love it. You're both inspiring to us. What about any advice you'd like to share with our listeners today, Jen?
This is the advice that I give to all space trekkers, and really any other teenager that I know. Say yes to what you should say yes to, which in turn means saying no what you also should say no to. Because when you say yes to taking a risk, like going to this summer camp in Kentucky, that you're going to meet 23 other girls that you've never met before. You're gonna sleep in a residence hall with a roommate that you've never met before. You're gonna come into a building that's the Space Science Center and do hands-on things that you've never done before. You're gonna eat food that you've never done before, be in a town that you've never been in before. And all of those things sound a little scary. They sound, well, risky. Say yes to those risks, to those things that you should say yes to, because ultimately, when you say yes to things like space trek, you are saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to growing and developing and investing your time and energy in yourself.
The abundant rewards. Absolutely. I love that. What about you, Chloe? Any advice you'd like to drop on us?
Yeah, my advice would be just to go out and try anything that you are interested in, even if it isn't directly related and in that straight line of the career path that you have for yourself. And so any extracurriculars or any other fields to explore, no knowledge is bad knowledge. And every single opportunity that you have will give you a life lesson that you can apply to your future.
Advice. I realize that, Space Trek is your passion project for both of you, but I always like to ask our guests if you have any other passion project, past or present, that you would like to mention.
I would say our current passion project, well, my current passion project, but you're kind of in it too, is the newly developed ambassador program that we are developing within Space Trek, and anybody can be an ambassador. Susan, you're an ambassador.
Me?
But an ambassador, yeah, an ambassador is someone who knows about the program, who believes in the program, and who shares the program with other people. Within that mindset, we have developed an alumni ambassador program, and it's really alumni and family ambassador program. So, there's some time between when a girl graduates from Space Trek to when she has to make a decision on what it is I want to pursue academically after high school, what career I want to pursue. And our Alumni Ambassador program serves to stay connected to those girls that we've already made this initial investment in and provide opportunities to support them in developing their leadership skills, their communication skills, and their networking skills. And so this is activity like taking a group of alums and their families to the Small Sat Education Conference. So just this past October, we took a group of 6 girls, 6 family members, and we all hopped on a plane and flew down, and the girls did a variety of things. 2 of them gave presentations.
Wow.
The rest of them served as exhibitors for the program. And we taught them how to make the most of a conference, how to walk around to each table, meet those people, develop their networking skills, learn about opportunities and how to follow up on them. Simultaneously, we're teaching families how to support their daughters pursuing this sort of activity, gaining leadership skills, pursuing aerospace, whatever it is that she wants to do.
Space Trek is so well-rounded. I love how you take that holistic approach and support on all levels, not just here, science, go. I love that. Passion project, Chloe.
Yeah. So I guess along the lines with Space Trek is while we're taking these alumni and we're going out into other states and spreading that word and encouraging them to create that network of people that they can go to, we also are spreading the word here in Kentucky and in the Appalachian region. Actually, Kentucky's #1 export is aerospace parts. And so what a lot of young kids in Kentucky don't know is that fact and how they can get involved. So a lot of times I actually grew up in Kentucky. We both did.
Yeah.
And this career path never felt possible to me before meeting Miss Jen. And so just getting to those students before they heard that you only have 3 career paths to choose, I think that's very important and something that we are really trying to do.
Well, I love what you're both doing. And from what I am hearing, I love everything about Space Trek. And I want to be involved. I want to be an ambassador.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today. And we look forward to talking to you again here on Stars Launch Pod to find out what's new and what's exciting. And maybe we can meet some of your students.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah, absolutely.
I would love it. Thank you again so much, Jennifer Carter, Chloe Hart. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Be sure to join us where we connect, collaborate, and accelerate. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and subscribe. Until next time, keep looking up.
Don't miss an episode. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platform. Watch us on YouTube and follow us on social media. Stars Launch Pod, propelling us forward, one launch at a time.